there, this is Carrie from Stamp with CT. It is time for our Facebook Live. It's Wednesday, September, 28th. October is just around the corner, which means in just a couple weeks it will be 2023. That's just how that works. Time is going by so fast, and through the holidays, oh my goodness. Good morning. I'll wait just a minute for some notifications to go out so that you know that I am live. Hopefully Facebook will let you know, and we can have some friends join live. But if you're watching on the replay crew, glad you're here as well. Hope you'll say hello. Just type in replay so I know you stopped by. But if you're catching it live, let me know how you're doing. It's a beautiful day here. I've noticed that on the weather forecast, the temperatures are dropping. Now, it's still getting warm in the afternoons, like we're talking 88, 90 over the last couple days, but really, really nice in the morning. Good morning. Well, let's get started because I like to spend a few minutes crafting and connecting with you. And today we're going to do something just a little bit different. We are just using stamps, ink, and paper. Now we're going to be recreating a fall card that I made. So here is our sample. I'll bring it just a little bit closer. It is simple, but I thought it just turned out really pretty. And what I love is the stamp set that I'm using. It's called Season of Chic. And you could make a card for any season using this same just kind of guideline for your stamping. So super simple, but I thought it turned out really pretty. Now I'm just doing the most today, y'all. I went ahead and stamped a panel for the inside, put a piece of designer series paper on the inside. So using my stamps, my ink, my designer series paper, and cardstock, and no embellishments today, no ribbon. Now we might use some linen thread on the card that we recreate, just because I feel like linen thread is the perfect embellishment for fall. I think you should have a roll of linen thread in your craft room. It's just something about linen thread. It's perfect for our fall projects. And I'm trying to make sure that I have some on my table now that I say that. I think I do somewhere. Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about the supplies that we're using. I do have some designer series paper, and it comes from the Rustic Harvest. Now, I've only used this a couple of times, but let me tell you, it is absolutely stunning paper. Really, really pretty. So definitely has that fall vibe with the gourds and the pumpkins and just the color combos. So really pretty. I love that design. So that is what we're using to create our card. And then, as I said, the Season of Chic stamp set. Now, it has coordinating dies, and they're awesome too, but I'm not using them today. But don't forget that when you purchase a bundle, which is stamps and dies or stamps and a punch, you do save 10%. So if you fall in love with the stamp set, just know that there are coordinating dies that work really well with them. And in the stamp set, I just want to point out how awesome these images are. Now, they're two-step stamps. You can layer the details of the flower over the flower. Same thing with the seashell or the leaf. You've also got a snowflake. So that's why I say, think about all the things that you could do with this stamp set. It's a very simple stamp set, but you can make some gorgeous projects. You could replace the leaves with snowflakes and make a winter card. You could replace the leaves with the flowers, and you could make a beautiful spring card, or you could replace it with the shells and make a beautiful summer beachy feel card. So I just think that's so awesome. Of course, it's called Season of Chic, so I'm sure that's exactly the way it was designed, but how fun to be able just to stamp a beautiful background, quick and easy, and send someone a lovely card. So we're going to get started recreating. I think we're going to go ahead and stamp first. Now I've got a couple of things that we're going to need to do that. I've got a stack of inks over here, y'all. And even if you don't have these colors, you can always substitute, right? So I have Mary Merlot Crushed Curry. I've got Early Espresso, and I've got Mossy Meadow, and then Cajun Craze. So lots of inks coming to our party today. That's always fun. I will edit the video description, and I will put the measurements for the supplies that we're using today. But I'm pulling in some Early Espresso cardstock to be our card base, and then Very Vanilla is what we're going to stamp on. So we've got two different sizes of Very Vanilla cardstock, one for the inside, one for the outside. I'm going to start with the inside panel, and you're going to see how quick and easy it is to create this card. So I'm going to set aside my Cajun Craze because I'm using it for the splotch. But let's open up some ink. My Mary Merlot doesn't want to cooperate. And we'll get these all lined up here. I generally do turn them where the little tray is facing me, so once I have them open, I have a good idea of what colors I'm using. You can use that little strip on the bottom of your stamp pad when it comes. It has the label that you're able to put on the front of the ink pad, but also that little blank that you can put there. So I hope you knew that. All right, let's start with Mary Merlot. We'll just ink this stamp up. And then you have such creative license with this. You're able to just do whatever you like. And I'm just going to come down the side with these stamps. Now I have my chamois over off screen, so I'm just going to clean these stamps really quick. It's so nice to have that chamois. I think I'll go this way with this one. So look how pretty, y'all. That is just so simple, but so pretty. Now I'll bring in Cajun Craze. And the reason that I've got my grid paper that I use with my Stamparatus is I want to stamp off, and I want second generation is what we call it, where we get that lighter color from our ink pad. So isn't that cool that we can get a couple of different colors from one ink pad? I'm just putting those splotches in to give it just a little bit more interest, just kind of filling in some of those gaps. So I'll bring that closer. Look how quick and easy that was, you guys. So pretty. Now this is actually kind of the detailed image or the fill-in image of the snowflake, but I thought it worked really well as a little splotch for this card. Okay, so let's trade out our panels, and let's do that again. Let's set that on that ink pad, and we will start with our Mary Merlot and ink it up, and just come down that side again with our colors. So you can see you could certainly use any colors that you love for fall. You could do this with different greens if you were making a springtime card. Let's go this way. And on my outside panel, I stamped a little bit across the bottom as well. So again, really up to you how you like it, what colors you want to use. I think I'm going to come back in with my crushed curry. And then let's see, let's go ahead with a Mary Merlot. And I'm not worrying, about super perfect stamping, because I think that that just gives it such pretty interest. Okay, I didn't leave us a lot of gaps. It will still come in and add a little bit of those little speckles to fill in and add some interest. I just love that. Okay, now let me get all of these ink pads closed so I don't have a terrible ink accident. We are going to stamp in early espresso. So let me look right quick. That's the ink pad that I want to keep out. And I've got my stamp here. Get organized. Okay, let's bring in the sentiment piece. And as I was stamping my sample, I found that stamping this sentiment worked better for me, stamping it upside down, because the top part of the sentiment is straight. The bottom part, it's a mixed font in this sentiment, and so I really struggled to get that straight. So I did better lining up that top line, and we'll see how I did this time. Not perfect, but we are gonna go with it. It's pretty close. I do have an extra over here that I stamped last night. Let me look. I think this one's a little bit better. We'll go with it. Okay, so now I have all of my stamping done, and we're just ready to assemble our project. So we'll bring the sample back in so we can kind of have a little guideline. And I've got my early espresso cardstock base here. And it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I will bring in my bone folder and crease that score line, reinforce that so my card lays nice and flat. Then let's go through here. Yeah, this is the one that I want on the inside, and I'm just going to mat that with the piece of Designer Series paper. And I could turn it this way. That's what I did. I'm thinking that's what I did on my sample card. Yes. So the leaves are going the other direction. That's okay. They're just kind of falling from the tree. And we'll put some glue. I'm going to show you a project and a little treat that I got when I went to a ladies' brunch this past Saturday. LaDonna and I were invited by Jan and Mary, two of our team members and awesome friends. But when we were there, one of the things that they were saying about the liquid glue was ... not a lot. And I love that because we all tend to use a little bit too much liquid glue, don't we? So ... not a lot. That has stuck with me this week. We had the best time, and I'll show you one of the projects we created. They did a little card class, but the other card I mailed. I wasn't thinking, so I'm not able to show off both of them, but trust me, they were both awesome. We had such a fun time, a wonderful breakfast, and just such awesome fellowship. Alrighty, ... not a lot. Gotta have that squiggle in the middle though, right? So I'm just going to mat this. Now, as I said, I'll put the dimensions. Once the video's over, I'll go in and edit the description. So if you wanted to recreate a card like this, you can. And, you know, think about the other stamps that you have in your collection that would work really well like this. And we'll go ahead and glue down our Designer Series paper. thought this was pretty. This is Cajun Craze. Just a beautiful piece of designer series paper. Trying to get my equal borders on all 4 sides. So see how quick and easy this is? Now, if you wanted to pop up this panel, I would certainly let you. You know that. That would make it pretty. But we're keeping it simple today. My friend Judy Cleveland, she calls these SIP cards. So stamps, ink, and paper. Oh, I just messed up. I dropped it before I meant to. I'll have to let that dry and then get some of that glue off. But I have an adhesive eraser, so if that happens, the best thing to do is let it dry and then deal with it once it dries. Now that glue does dry clear, but it is still sticky, so I'll have to work on that in just a minute. I just dropped that panel. I'm sure y'all saw that. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, that's pretty good, I think. So now I just need to add my sentiment. And I've got just another little piece of early espresso cardstock to mat the sentiment strip with. I just felt like that really made it stand out on the card. I liked that. And that was probably too much glue, Carrie. So we've just got a little border top and bottom for our sentiment. Just trying to make sure I get it somewhat equal border. And we're going to pop that on. Now you can kind of look at how you did your stamping and where you want to put that. And I'm just going to anchor that down with a little bit of liquid glue. Again, if you want to pop it up, you do you. I think that would be pretty as well. Okay. Look at it from the bottom. Sometimes I can tell if I'm straight better that way. I think it looks pretty good, y'all. Now, for some finishing touches, like I said, I've got some linen thread, but before I do that, I'm going to bring back in my grid paper, my Stamparatus grid paper, and I'm just going to set my card there, and then I hope this is not too loud, but I have a brand new Wink of Stella that I just opened, and I love splattering fall cards. It's just a thing. So if you have a pretty good juicy Wink of Stella, this works well. Probably will not show up on camera, but trust me, this is an amazing effect that you can get with this little Wink of Stella glitter brush. You're just going to take the cap and you're going to flick Wink of Stella onto your project. And like I said, it will not probably show up on camera, but I can see that little bit of shimmer in the background, and it just adds such a pretty touch. Now, let's go ahead and get a length of linen thread. And I'm going to make a double bow with linen thread. That's just kind of my thing. It's what I like to do. But of course, you could just use one length of thread to make your bow. Do what you like. Let me get this situated, get my tails pulled, and then I can trim off the excess. So I tend to make a pretty good size bow and then just work with it until I get it the way that I want it. So my bows, I know some people struggle with tying a bow, and my bows are not pretty when I start, but I just keep working with them. I make nice big loops, and then I just keep working with them until I'm happy. And like anything, it just takes practice. And the more that you work with making bows with different types of ribbon too. Don't forget that certain ribbons are much easier than others to tie a bow with. This twine is pretty easy. Now I'm going to add it to my project with a glue dot, and I just tend to take my fingernail and scrunch that glue dot up, and then I can pop that on my project. And I'm trying to decide, I think, where do I want it? Maybe right there. I think that looks pretty right there. And it does add a little touch, and that shimmer adds a little touch. So we stepped it up a tiny bit, not a lot, but just a little bit from our original project, from our sample. So let me know what you guys think. I think it turned out really pretty. I'm hoping that maybe that shimmer shows up, but probably not. Now we also have a cardstock called Shimmery White, and so that would be pretty to create your fall cards with as well. So that's our project for today, using Season of Chic and a little bit of Rustic Harvest Designer Series paper, stamp, ink, and paper, y'all. Just so fun. And don't forget, you can replace those stamps with flowers, with seashells, whatever you have in your stash, and create a card like this as well. I got a piece of cardstock on the back. Okay, let me move these out of the way. Let me know what you think too, if you like it with the bow or if you like it just plain. I've got just a couple things to share with you. As I said, first of all, I have this little treat holder that my friend Jan passed out to all of us. We made something similar to this in class. It's been several months ago, but this is a tea bag holder. But look what else she put inside. Some gummy bears. So isn't that cute? And each of us that attended that little event received one of these. So sweet. Had so much fun, Jan and Mary. And then this is one of the cards that we made. So this is some Designer Series paper. It's been a couple years, I think, since we had this in the catalog, but it is Stampin' Up! Paper, and just made a cute little pocket card that would be perfect to give a gift card, and you can just put a little note in there. So this was a quick and easy fun fold that we did. Then we also did another fun fold that Mary helped us with, and that's the card that I've already mailed. But trust me, it was gorgeous too. I think I have a couple pieces of Happy Mail I wanted to show you. I do. So this is not a hand-stamped card, but I thought this was fabulous. This is a wedding, a bridal shower invitation, and it is really, really pretty. And I love the way that they stamped the flowers across the top and bottom. It made me think of the 12 by 12 Designer Series paper that Stampin' Up! Has. It's several different papers from the annual catalog. I'm not sure if there's one in the mini. Yes, I think so. Actually, even in the Rustic Harvest, there's a paper where you've got the flowers on top and bottom. When you cut that down the middle and cut it down to 5 1/4, it's the perfect card front. It's just gorgeous. But just think about how we could use the stamps we just used for the card to create something very similar to this. So I wanted to share that with you. And then I got this amazing card from my wonderful friend Mary, and it is really, really cool. She used scraps, you guys, put them on the diagonal, cut that as the card front. How adorable is that? I love it. It's the Tea Boutique Designer Series paper, just scraps. And the inside is nice and very finished. I love the way she matted that paper that she wrote on. But this is a beautiful card, and I love getting Happy Mail, and I love bragging on you guys. Y'all are just stamping rock stars. This is just such a pretty card. Thanks, Mary. And then I need to announce the winner of our giveaway from last week. I had some of the little in color rounds, and those are going out to my sweet friend Diana. She usually watches from Arkansas, so hello Diana, hope you're with us today, and you are the winner. Congratulations. We'll pop those in the mail to you. And then I have some adhesive backed seasonal sequins. This is such a fun package of sequins. I went to look in my prize box, And of course I saw the shiny and it stopped me in my tracks, and I said, this is the prize for today. So if you would like to be entered for a chance to win, all you have to do is leave a comment. I also love it when you give me hearts. That makes me so happy, and it tells Facebook that you like my videos and you think other people should see them. And if you're watching over on YouTube, if you like my video, give it a thumbs up, please, and hit that subscribe button. I always upload these videos to YouTube as well. Okay, it's almost October, y'all. Who is excited? I am. I love fall. It's my favorite season, and it's a great time to start working on our holiday crafting. Just so much fun. It's such a fun time to be a stamper, isn't it? Y'all have a great day. I'll see you again next week, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.